Aha! I believe it has worked this time. I hope so. And I shouldn't be muted, but I'm not on camera, but I should be. I should also be slightly bigger for this one as well. Good evening. Hello, welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I am Les, and you can see me a little bit bigger this time than usual. I hope everyone's doing alright. I just realised my headphones might be echoing a little bit, so I'll just sort that out. If I can remember where the volume control is. There it is. Huzzah. Let's find out if this has actually worked properly, shall we? Well, it says I'm live. And it says I'm live on both, which is good. Tonight, because it is a year in, basically it's the end of the year, and I've been doing all sorts of stuff all year. So I've been going back through. I made a note earlier, me and Ramrod. For those of you who are in the Discord, will know at least know the name of Ramrod. Good evening, Ali. Good evening. Welcome in. Obviously, of course, one of the things I've been working on, we have named one of the characters after you. Ali the Barbarian is still going strong and has been selected by Minilaz to be his character to play. He wants to play as Ali the Barbarian Bunny. But that's taken pretty much all year for me to do to that degree, and I've got it over there. I'll bring it over because I've got to make a couple of little repairs on it. But well, I say little couple. There's one. Barnaby wants to fly. I know he's a bat, but he does want to fly, and he's a plastic model. He shouldn't be able to fly. So that's that issue, and I've just realised I've not sorted out the. Haha. Hello, everyone on portrait can see me nice and big now as well. This is going to scare the heck out of all of you. I'm just going to get big on the screen for no reason. But looking back over this last year, along with the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak, I've done a lot of things really, and varying degrees of what they are. Now, at the start of the year, I was essentially finishing up the projects from the end of the year before, which, for those of you who remember, some of you will, some of you won't, was a very proud project of mine. It was my first personal piece from Roast and Hobbies. It was Lavarus, so you can't see him very well there, but if I do that, you can see him a little bit better. And if I make me smaller, put me down there on that one. Portrait mode gets it first, I'm afraid. We've got Lavarus, who, essentially I finished up this year. And this is the first thing I finished at the start of the year. And I'm still very, very happy. What has just happened? Everything just went blank for a second. Hello, Nilla, and happy birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday tomorrow. As being another child that has their birthday towards the end of the year, it sucks having your birthday near Christmas, doesn't it? It really sucks. But happy birthday tomorrow. I'm not doing a stream tomorrow. No, next one's Wednesday, so I'll be able to say happy birthday yesterday if you join the Wednesday streams. I hope you do have a good birthday and at least get something that you want. And something nice and so I finished Lavarus off at the beginning of the year, which I still want to use. I still haven't used him in a battle yet, which is quite worrying and also quite frustrating because I want to use him in a battle specifically against one of the other two projects that I've done this year regarding 40k, because there's been a lot of 40k in this year, way more 40k in. Then I realised I thought I'd done a lot of D&D this year, but apparently I've done way more 40k than I realised. Because it was just kind of the first full year of the Combat Patrol magazine as well, which is I covered on Wednesdays. Now that I've had Combat Patrols from Space Marines, Tyranids, Eldar, Orcs, Votan, which got sent to EB. Hello, Jacobs. Hello, welcome in. What else did we get in Combat Patrol? Gene Stealer Cults, that's what we're currently working through at the moment, isn't it? The only reason I remembered that is because they're here on my desk, ready to be no idea what I'm doing with them. That's what they're here for at the moment. But the Gene Stealer Cults are the ones that we're collecting at the moment through the Combat Patrol magazine, and then it's gonna be after Gene Stealer Cults, it's Guard, and then we get to finish the Khorne Berserkers, the World Eaters. We do. We get to finish the World Eaters next year, don't we? Because that's when all the rest of the Combat Patrols. Oh, that's gonna be so fun. I'm looking forward to that because we've got a lot of World Eater stuff done this year. Well, I say a lot. We've got enough World Eater stuff done. I also started my Eldar army. Now that's all in a box in there that isn't accessible at the moment. In the cupboard over next to me, that way. So I can't get my Eldar out at the moment, except for one model, which anyone who's watching, last week I was working on it, the week before I was working on it, and a couple of weeks before that I was working on it, which is my Exodite tank. Now, this is by no means all that is there for my Eldar army, but it is my custom built fire prism. But I did get another Eldar, build up an actual Eldar army this year, consisting of about 15 bikes, 15 wraiths, 20 dire avengers, 10 guardians, wraith lord, 2 Farsi, a lot of stuff. Hello there, Charlene. Hello. Welcome in. And Damaris, hello. Nice to see people. Please stay and say hello, because then I don't turn into a rambling idiot on the internet who's just talking to himself. Not that I've not done that before. It's just nice to have people to talk to. So where am I up to? I have got a list. You see, I've been making a list of what I've actually done throughout the year, and it's longer than I thought. Dino Tank was right at the end though, but it does technically come under Eldar Army, which is right near the top. We also finished the Tyranid Army this year, which I did forget about. Well, at least finished off the bulk of it, of what we got through the Combat Patrol, so that's put, up to 60 termagants now. And God knows how many Von Ryan, I think it's about 12 to 15 Von Ryan sleepers. Far too many Barb Gaunts than anyone should ever want, and way too many Nora Gaunts than anyone would ever want or need. Supreme, please don't do that. You will be gone. Evening Buzzard, how do? Thank you. Thank you, Ali. Yeah, please don't spam. Spam's not nice. Spam's wrong. Spam's horrible. No spamming, you've been told. So what happened after the finished Tyranid army? Oh, we got our Rogue's Den proxies. And we've still not been through all those yet, because there's still the backpacky bits. But that's when we got the Makwa warriors from the Rogue's Den hobbies. And I got them so I could proxy rocket launcher dudes. And I've still got the rocket launcher. The rocket launchers. I've still got all the missile launchers and the rocket launchers. But when I saw the actual models themselves, now I'm going to see if I can actually find a picture of them so I can possibly put it up, hopefully. This is where my ability to do stuff on Discord and things like that drastically goes downhill. Because I can't even search for my own models and things that I've done. I'm no good with Discord. I really am hopeless. I really, really am hopeless. Now, I don't believe I did the cats this year. I think I did the cats last year. I'm pretty sure I did the cats last year. How far have I got to scroll up through my own Discord here just to get... I've not even posted them in the right place, have I? Probably one of the few models I've actually finished. One of the few sets of models I finished on my own channel, and I've not put them in anywhere. Doris, hello. My day was alright. How was yours? My day has been okay. I'm just... Now it's going a bit weird because I'm trying to use Discord at the same time as streaming, and I'm not very good at doing that overall. I've only got as far back as October, and I know I did the models that I'm looking for way before that. At least to the point where they should be in a working project section. Put it this way, the model that I've not even got to talking about yet at the moment is only just gone past, and I've got that model in front of me, so I can just show you that. That'll be easier, but I can't find the picture of these Terminators, which are now Terminators. They were meant to be. They were supposed to be something else. They were supposed to be Desolation Marines, but they end up being Terminators. But I can't find the picture that I put up, and they're all tucked away in boxes nice and neatly because I have far too many models. 1,200 points worth of Space Marines. No, sorry. 12,000 points worth of Space Marines is too much. Far too much. I'm sure Doris is well aware of stuff like that. We don't get spammers usually that much, do we, Ali? So we should be okay with... Doris is well aware. Just being a generally nice person, I'm getting... Don't do spamming. You can tell from the first message. Wow, how far back do these go? Where am I up to? Oh, I'm not even halfway through the year. I should have got this well prepared. I thought I had the pictures up ready, but apparently I don't. Because I am an idiot. A complete not a moron, as some people might say. And we're at least almost halfway through, going backwards at the moment. So we have lots of Tyranids. Silver's has got some very nice Tyranids, has some nice Nurgly stuff going on. And we go back to Twisted Dwarf as well when you started that little fellow. How far back have I got to go? I can get to the World Eaters, which we will get onto regarding showing models. And especially as it comes to 40k models, we will get onto the World Eaters. I can get to them. It's just I can't get to these ones. So I've got to try and find out where they are again. Haha! That is a really bad picture of them. That is a better picture. Huzzah! And then if I do this, there we go. So those are the Terminators that were the first actual missile guys that we got from Rogues Den Hobbies, along with the bear in the background, which was the first model we got from Rogues Den Hobbies. Not the first model we painted though. The first model we painted was done in 2023, I think, if I remember rightly, was the night that you bought, Ali, for me to send over to Dan in Maryland. I painted the night up in the Maryland colours, which I think I've done a playlist for. It's only 2 videos long. But there is that. But we did... Now, once we started going to Rogues Den Hobbies, we enjoyed it. We thought we'd get some Marines with missile launchers. Realised a lot better as Terminators. Ordered a crap load of hammers and shields. And turned them into those Terminators. As it shows up there. So it's a full unit of 10 Thunderhammer and Storm Shield Terminators. They have all been painted up to the similar standard to the guy in the middle. That guy there. That's a really bad photo, I know, but they have all been painted up to that standard. Turn that off now. Okay. But not long after that was when we got the huge donations. I got the Grey Knights, the plastic board, and the scenery. So I got the Fortress of Redemption and also the Aquila Strongpoint and a Bastion, if I remember rightly. Most of them painted up in the Fang, so I do have to sort them out and move them from where they currently are because it's not safe, and I think I broke a bit off one of them before redemption already. But yeah, that does work. Mentally unstable, you've definitely come to the right place. There's not a single mentally stable person here. Thank you very much for the Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to yourself. Also, Nicot, hello. I'm not sure what that means, but hello. So yeah, where was it? Oh yeah, the donation. So with the board and the terrain, as I said, I've got a load of Grey Knights, which I'm still waiting to convert the Terminators into close quarters with the Falchions to proxy as lightning swords. But I also got a Nemesis Dread Knight, and I had no intention of ever doing a Grey Knight army, so the Nemesis Dread Knight armor was not something I could use. So that's when I decided to do my first real kit bash. And that's where we get Lasgo Thwacker from, which is this nice little boy here. I say little, he does have a few Gretchens on him just for standard scale for orkiness. So if you can see, there is one just under the base. There is one holding a box of scrap, essentially. Why not? An ammo run around the back, and I want to help the targeting squig slung over his shoulder, because any kind of Ghazghkull Thracker proxy needs to have some kind of Makari proxy on there with him. So in this case, 1, 2, 3 that are still alive, and one that hasn't quite made it. Poor guy. But that is Ghazghkull Thwacker, my first attempt at an actual kit bash. A proper kit bash. Which I think went okay, including paint scheme I'm quite happy with. But good things come out of odd little places. I wasn't expecting to get Nemesis Dread Knight armor. With the purchase of a Hellbrute with the Combat Patrol magazine, it gave me access to a secondary hammer. So I had not only the Hellbrute's hammer itself, the Nemesis Dread Knight hammer, but then I had a Hellbrute hammer as well, which gave me a nice fleshy area to be able to paint orc skin, just to make sure you do know it is orky, despite the fact there is an orc head in there, but there's only so much you can get away with just showing an orc head. So it's nice to have a Ghazghkull proxy within my orcs at the moment, especially when I've got a nice big whopping Brutalis Dreadnought Bear that I want to throw against things. So a Ghazghkull Thracker proxy is a wonderful thing to throw it against. After kit bashing is when I started looking properly into the World Eater army that I knew I was going to be getting, because the Combat Patrol I've still not got yet. World Eaters are at the end of the Combat Patrol, but I converted the Chaos Marines that you would have got into what is the start of my World Eaters army. But I also found a proxy for Angron. Oh yes, hello, Bunny Goddess. I'm going to have to ask permission if you want one of those. We have a wah in the comments. Am I allowed? Am I allowed to give them a wah?
Yes.
Fine, fair enough. I can give you a wah. I hope you had your speakers turned down for that, but very well done. Thank you very much for giving me the need. I scared the hell out of my cat with that, but no, my orc army is far too dumb to understand what you want to do. What? Think they can? That's too many syllables. Daka crunch. Wah. My orcs are too dumb. He's called Ghazghkull Thwacker because he does one thing. He thwacks things. The gun's manned by a Gretchen and a targeting squig, because he's too dumb to pull a trigger. So he's in great big armor and he hit things hard. I've lost very much on my list. Oh, right, no, 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 too. Yes, because I ventured out into the world of 3 3D proxies, or 3D printed proxies through Roast Den Hobbies initially. I jumped over the pond to speak to some other 3D printers, and they had a nice model that I wanted. So obviously I spoke to them. I got it sent over. Luckily, because it was one of the last things they did as a company. You can't buy from them anymore, sadly. But that's where I got my Mortarian proxy, which is this fellow. Now, one very big, huge tusk, 2 very big, huge demonic stone weapons, a nice pair of wings to throw him across the battlefield on, and obviously skulls for the Skull Throne all crashed through the bottom. A good evening, Lee, and a Merry Christmas to you and everybody else who is in chat and both chat rooms. Thank you all for joining me. It is appreciated. If the war was a little loud, then there's not much I can do about it now. It's done, but I won't do another one. Okay, I asked permission because of the volume, time of night, and even mini lads came down asking what was going on. So I won't be doing another one of them tonight. Don't worry. But yes, I got this as my Angron proxy. Now, as a very kind gesture, they also sent me 2 other models, which I have packed away at the moment, but may be accessible. Maybe. If I look in the right places, I might be able to find them. They did send me 2 models free of charge, just for the fun of painting. One of them they usually sent out to anyone who requested. I didn't, but they sent one out anyway, so I'm not going to complain. Now, hopefully these boxes are not going to fall, because I have got them on here quite precariously if I start moving them. And no, that's the wrong one. That's the one that's full of spruce. And I really do mean that's the one that's full of spruce, including the orcs that need to be put together, because I've dropped a piece and lost a piece. I found the piece but lost the piece again. And now I need to go see if I can find the piece again to build the orc. That's 3/4 of the way done already. And that's the rest of those I need to. James, hello. Hello, how are you? I hope you've had a good evening so far, and I hope I can make it a little bit better. Now, I'm looking for 2 very specific models, but now that I'm looking, I've realised they are not in here. I thought they were in here, which has got a lot of my D&D models in, so like the Oryx and the Stormcast Eternals. And I've still got to finish my squigs. I've not even started them properly. Yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff for D&D in here, but not the models I was looking for, including the Goblin Raiding Party, which they're in here as well. So there's a few things you might be bumping into should you take part in any of the Discord D&D. There are zombies as well, which I've yet to paint. Good evening, Graham's Hobby Corner. Good evening. So yeah, but not the models we're looking for, which primarily. Oh no, there's the Magus for these. I need to put her up there. But I was primarily looking for the Sorceress and the Custode that I got when I got my Angry Ron model. He's not called Angry Ron. That's not what the STL was called. That's not what the file was called. It was actually an orc, a demonic orc. I just decided to make it an Angry Ron to make it a proxy. I am not going to draw tonight, James, I'm afraid. But I had no intention of anyway. Not ruling it off the table, but at the moment I'm talking back through what I've done throughout the year. Once I've finished that, which I'm getting quite close to the end of, from there, I don't know what I'm going to do. So drawing may actually be on the table. I do have a book in front of me and I do have a pen there, so it is perfectly feasible, I suppose. So after the kit bash of that. Not the kit bash, sorry, the 3D proxy of that. I got the extra expansion to the Tyranny, so I finished off getting one of each Tyrant. So I now have a Hive Tyrant and a Winged Hive Tyrant. And that's when I actually started the World Eaters proper. So that's when I did the conversion for the Lord Executioner, which will be the Warlord, the leader of the Warband out of the two Lord Executioners. Because there's only two now. I don't have to convert the other. Again, going back to Rogues Den Hobbies for proxies because they are absolutely fantastic for what I needed them for. I got the 3 Werebears to proxy as 8 bounce. Which 2 of them have club and shield. And then there is what would be the Sergeant if you were to use them for a standard Werebear unit that has the 2 claws. Now, initially they was going to be led by Master of Executions, or Lord of Executions. However, I entered a Secret Santa on a different Discord server than my own, much larger one than my own. And in that Secret Santa, I got sent a model. I got sent a Slaughterbound, which is the official leader for an 8-bound unit, which is why I will not be having 3 of these guys anymore. I will only be having 2 because the Slaughterbound will be leading the proxied. Well, in this case, I might even make them Exalted 8-bound because they are a little bit bigger than him. But he will be leading those into. Not a problem, Ali. You have a good night, and thank you. And something long to catch up to that message, but I will speak to you later. And have a good evening. I'll message you before Christmas. But as I said, the World Eater army does expand in the initial phase. Obviously, as I said, I got a Hellbrute, which is where I got the hammer for Lazarus, along with being able to make a nice group of 10 just standard Khorne Berserkers and a unit of 5 Terminators just to help give that extra bit of a bulky punch. And then with what's coming later on in the Combat Patrol magazine, I will be able to finish off the full World Eater 2,000 point army with an additional 20 Berserkers, 1 more Lord of Executions, and a Mauler Fiend and Rhino. I think that finishes off the 2,000 points. I don't want to put him in the same. I'm going to leave him out. I'm not going to put him in that box because he's very well painted and he came that way, which was absolutely awesome. Then, of course, we had October. October, the greatest month of the year. And I didn't do a big bunch of arcs as most people would expect from arcs and an October type thing. Instead, I did my 3 cards. The Custom Booster Blaster, which is this very nice chappy. Again, I zoomed out just before I was actually needing to. So we have the Custom Booster Blaster, which is very brassy as well as silvery, and going for the nice yellow colour scheme of the Bad Moons. They are rich in teeth, they are. We have the Shock Jump Dragster, wherever it is. There you are, you're underneath the. So we have the Shock Jump Dragster, which does look a little bit more orangey because it did end up with an overspray by accident when I was testing out the speed paints through the airbrush. So it does look a little bit more orangey, but I don't mind that with it being the Shock Jump Dragster. It's a little bit more flash. And nice glowy bits at the back. which came out okay. I could do with tidying that up a little bit if I improve on my techniques. So I might come back to this because the glow is not quite as much as I would like underneath. So it does need some working on, as well as some of the glow from the gun needs brightening up a little bit more. And then there's the most fun one to say, which is the Boom Dakka Snazwagon. Boom Dakka Snazwagon is an excellent thing to say. It is a fun thing to say. Everyone should say it at least once as a present to themselves before Christmas. Just to realise how enjoyable it is. And that we have our little high adrenaline friend here at the front. And everyone's got some kind of flaming cocktail. As well as something to go dakka 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 dakka. And as I said, because they are flashier than normal, they don't just have normal bolt gun metal or lead belcher guns. Theirs are flashier. These are very, very well off orcs. They do know how to get teeth in an effective manner. So that was October, all three of those. It took me essentially four goes to go through those and paint all three of them up. Then I went back onto the World Eaters to finish off the last of those. And from there I started building the tank, which I've already covered with the Eldar. When I did that earlier on. I've only been going half an hour, really. I've summarised so much stuff in half an hour. I suppose I'm good at summarising things. That's not necessarily a good thing when you're trying to do a video. Well, there is one very, very large thing that I've not pulled down and I've not gone through yet. Obviously there is one very, very big thing that I have been doing all year, every Thursday, to get all characters done, and that is the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak. Now, that has been both a labour of love, a labour for love, or for my love, and something that has also equally drove me insane at times. Particularly one character who, even though they have wings, they cannot really fly, which is Barnaby. Barnaby the Bat seems to think he can fly, and he can't. He just can't. Someone needs to tell him this so he stops jumping off the diorama. So I will bring the diorama over now because this is quite a large piece with a lot going on. Now, I did say this was a year-long project, but it is going to take a little bit longer than a year, sadly. I can't even get it all on for use on portrait cam. I'm going to have to move it around a little. As I said, some will be familiar with some of the things that are going on this board, some will not have a clue. Barnaby, as I said, even just then, as took a little dive, he's the only one that took a nosedive off. When I did that little knock, he's the only one that moved. Now, last time he did it, I glued him back on the base. I glued him back on so well that this time he snapped his ankles when he's fallen off. So he does need repairing. He's not good. But just to bring up, we have 4 models left to paint for this side, as well as finishing off the floor texturing here. 2 of which are the familiars, the Critter and the Little Dragon, and we have Northan and the Assassin Penguin, who's still to be named, to go up onto that section. And the other upper section here, we only have 1 more model left, which is the Bard Frog coming through. Other than that, it's just the top layer here and the bar and door frames that need to be done. All the other characters, we have the Wizard Lizard, Chester, D&D. Oh, the spider's been renamed. What's the spider's name, mate?
What?
You named him earlier. You renamed him because he was also Northam for a bit. Deck. We have Deck the spider now.
Yeah.
as well as the like Hamoto Yoshi, Shamash. We've yet to have a name for this little chappie been put forward to be put forward yet, and for the yellow turtle, has not had a name yet. Obviously, Sparkles, Oak, Sid, Shadow, Gris, Cyclone, Storm and Cyclone, Ali, which is obviously the bunny barbarian, Geoff, I believe it is Geoff. It's Geoff, the barbarian butterfly, as well as ample other characters, the sheep, the Houdini, the owl. We've still got to name the otter yet, I believe. Yeah, he's Way of the Shadows Otter, but Otter Monk, but we've not yet named him. Still chance to go. As well as one of my now little favourites, which is the little mushroom fellow with the bright green eyes. He's become one of my fast favourites. Now, as I said, this has taken so long. This has been pretty much a year-long project, having to do not only the models themselves, but then working up into each layer. So you have the water line, then the actual land, the dock where the portal at the end for them to travel on their adventures, then a blacksmithy, and everyone's shopkeep, a bar, places for everyone to stand on multiple layers, so that this can actually be displayed all the time and be available for people for when I'm doing the D&D to use the characters and run Dungeons and Dragons across the server. The character sheets, once they're available, will also be made available on the Discord as well. So anyone who wishes to download it and just run it as a pen and paper themselves, that's fine. I will be leveling everybody up to level 7. Well, we're putting a level 20 and a level 7 character sheet on there. Which, yeah, that's my year in review. At least, what have I done? That's pretty much everything I've done all year. All year has just been summed up in 37 minutes. Probably 30 if I come to think about it, because I didn't start immediately. That's very quick, isn't it? That's very quick. This is where I should have had things like models to hand to actually show more of them off. I had the larger models to hand, I had the diorama to hand, and I had the con models to hand. What I didn't have is all the other models to hand, which I should have. Like the Terminators, and the Eldar, and the Tyranids, and the Sorceress, and the Custode. They would have been nice to have had to hand. And I can't remember which boxes I put them in. So I don't particularly wish to go rummaging halfway through my house just to try and find 2 models. So now I've summarised my year. Are there any questions? Is there anything anyone else wants to say, ask, speak, do, wish to ask of me to do? No, Arkeoki, please, I have a song ready. Do you want to help name? Should we go naming models again? Should we do stat sheets for those that we've got names for on the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak? Should I attempt a colour scheme change? Should I start painting a model? What do I do now? I've actually summarised already the year in review that I wanted to do. It's a difficult one, that, isn't it? I believe I've had some requests to draw, which I have no adversities to. What do I draw? That's a different matter. I have no idea. I have not got a clue what to draw. I do know that I have a reasonably good sketch pencil and a decent eraser or rubber right next to me. So I know I can draw. I know I'm at least going to be capable of drawing something. because what is it? A nice, yeah, charcoal hard. That should do it, shouldn't it? Although I should have a pencil as well somewhere, which would actually be better because there we go. We'll go with a HB pencil instead. I have no idea what to draw though. He says he has no idea what to draw, and then as soon as his pencil touches the paper, off he goes with the ability to draw something. Isn't that wonderful? So I've never actually drawn an arc before, believe it or not. However, hopefully this will start to show up on camera. It probably would have zoomed in more, wouldn't it? So I've never actually drawn an arc before, believe it or not. But I thought it'd be rather fitting, seeing as I was allowed to get away with a war earlier, to do an arc, or at least attempt one. My first ever attempt at an arc. Oh, I forgot the rest of his mouth. That does help, doesn't it? I have wonderful children. Excuse you. That might just come with the new channel logo, you know. Let's see if we can actually paint or colour some of this in. Should I colour it? Yeah, I think we should colour it rather than paint it. It is on the, yeah, it is in the scrap everyday book, but I don't want paint going through. So I'm going to use some big, thick, dum-dum paint pens. These are supposed to be like so big, thick and dumb that even I can use them. Like the equivalent of adult Crayola. Not that adults can't use Crayola. So some of them don't want to because they don't want to be thought of as children. So they buy these ones. And it's the equivalent of adult Crayola. You need big chunky because you got dumb hand. Yes, I do. Give me big chunky. You got dumb hand. Two different forms of green. Two different forms of green. Why two different forms of green? We have two different forms of green, so we can possibly do shadow. Possibly. So. Those should be the darker areas. And then if we do the lighter areas, well, this is the metallic. I didn't realise this is metallic. This will go right over that felt tip. I didn't realise. Let's see if I can draw as well as I can paint, eh? Or in this case, let's see if I'm actually better at drawing than I am at painting. Put that nose back in a moment with a pen. Then we need a nice red for the eyes, and then we need to put that nose back in with the pen because the nose has been lost. So we'll go with a very small red, as much as we can. What in the world am I doing? I'm drawing my first ever arc silvers. That's what I'm doing. I've never actually drawn an arc before. So what I'm doing right at this moment in time is drawing an arc. And as I've not done it before, and I'm very out of practice with pencil and paper, I am doing my very best arc that I can for somebody who needs lots of practice. How did I do? I've been talking through everything else that I've done so far this year. Well, I've done a crap load. I've done an absolute ton of stuff. I'm at the other end of the book. I'm at the wrong end of the book. Yeah, there we go. I've done an absolute crap ton. So the bear, the actual start of all the combat patrol, and all the combat patrols that I've done collected so far as well, including the one that's gone over to Eclectic Beard, which was the Votan one. Lizzie Lulu, hello, welcome in. So I've been going through this list, and I've finished it. I've gone through everything that I've done this year, and it was James who suggested. Well, who asked if I was drawing, and I said I wasn't, but it doesn't mean it's off the board. So when I got to the end, I decided to draw something. And that's how I ended up drawing this Silvers. So yeah, that's an arc that I drew in, I don't know, about 10 minutes to colour it in, give or take. Lizzie, this is Normally tonight I would be painting a model, or I would be building a model, or I would be doing something along the lines of Warhammer 40,000 or something similar to making things. So either making a big model like that, or doing smaller models such as these ones, or even smaller ones still, for like the ones I've done for Dungeons and Dragons. So I've been going through some basically what I've been done for the year. But now that I've reviewed all that, and it went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to, as I was saying to Silver's Scratch Buildings in the horizontal view, because I do have the same stream running on portrait and horizontal, just for those who prefer the short view as opposed to the full view, or those who prefer the screen view as opposed to the short view. So you all have a choice. Somebody suggested, and it was James, who was in here not long ago. Don't know if you are still here, James. If you are, thank you very much. Suggested I draw something, so I did. I thought I'd draw an arc, but I've never done one before, and apparently it looks okay. Awesome. I mean, I've tried Eevees before. I did not my attempt at Eevee not long ago. That's not my attempt at Eevee. That's my attempt at other things. So I do draw occasionally. I do doodle. So to ask me to draw isn't completely out of the question. Wherever put my Eevee, because this one got coloured in as well. I know Eevee's in here somewhere. It's not a very good Eevee. It looks more like a generic old dog thing. But it was supposed to be an Eevee. There we go. See? That was my attempt at an Eevee. I think I should stick with Orcs. I do better. Oh, you're working on the Iron Warriors, which I mistakenly mistook for a Nurgle Master of Possession. I'm sorry. I didn't spot the yellow. I just thought it was corruption and pus. Yeah, it is literally for fun, Lizzie. So if you've got an idea that you think, nah, not a chance, he's an absolute moron, he's never going to be able to draw or anything like that, shout it out, I'll mess it up, giving it a go. But that was just pure, I put pen to paper and that's what came out in this case. God, I dread to put this on here because I don't know what's going to come next. I don't know what's going to come out next. I'm too out of practice with it. I don't know if it's going to be symbol. I don't know if it's going to be face. I don't know if it's going to be cartoon. I don't know if it's going to be rubbish. I have no idea. I suppose I could put the cartoon lettering in and put him having a war, or going war, which I'm not doing another one. If you do wish to hear my war cry for orcs, then there was one much earlier, and I suggest you turn the volume down. Because as per usual, it's just me. And it does get rather loud. So have him very nicely shouting "Wah," because that's the orky thing to do, isn't it? Why wouldn't he? He's an orc. That's what orcs do. Do I have two different coloured greens apart from those two coloured greens? No, I only really have those two different coloured greens. Oh well. Oh no, I could do that one. Is that also a metallic? That's also a metallic. I'm going to go for two metallics. Two nice big chunky metallics that even I can't drop. That side, that side. Outside, under. Do not want it to be quite as universal. As all the others, and none should really match with where the lines are. So it is a little bit of craziness going on. Draw a nurgling dancing on some goo. A nurgling dancing on some goo. Nurgling. Okay. I've got an idea. To finish off colouring in the lettering. A nurgling dancing in some goo. If anyone says draw a space marine, you're getting told no. Whether it be a chaos version or a normal one, because I've tried drawing them in the past and they are surprisingly awkward for how simple they are. So that's him doing what? Right, a nurgling. A nurgling has a great big smiley face. Gonna be a happy nurgling. I mean, I am in shot. Cool. I was wondering if I was in shot or not. It's hard to keep it in shot on the portrait mode while I'm doing this. Hello, Lloyd. Hello. Welcome in. I'm just drawing by request of Silver Scratch Productions a dancing nurgling in a pile of goo. The only problem is he is the pile of glue. So, although he is having a whale of a time, he is dancing in his own pile of glue. But for that, he does get a nice spinning hat, even though it is a little bit rotted. and it is a little bit falling apart. But it's a Nurgle gloop. It's a Nurgle gloop. So this is going to take lots of weird colouring in. It is a Nurgling. That means he's going to be multiple different colours of green and buzzy colours. So he's not going to be a healthy looking chap by anyone's stretch of the imagination. Where's the other green gone? Well, it's the same as the other one, just thinner. Right, okay. That's the same as that, just thinner. And that's the same as that, just thinner. Any others that might look? Nope. Right, okay. So it does have to be a combination of these three. Let's put some more of this one in here. And then we can go a little bit more greeny near the orange down and greeny down here. Kind of overlap there. Portrait mode's not got it all. That's what we've got so far. And a lot of this down here is now going to be orange for the lower half of the body. And then little bits of orange and green in the actual pool itself. So essentially it's a vomit monster. But a very, very small vomit monster. Like a baby vomit monster. For those of you who don't have a 40k reference of what the friggin' hell's a Nurgling. It's a baby vomit monster. That is what it is. So cute and lovely. Yeah, don't look at me like that. They're cute and lovely vomit monsters. And then we want this nice dark green for his hat. And then a colour for his horn. Horn. I'll have a purple horn and a purple eye. Okay. Moment of truth. There is no Evelyn. I don't actually. Most of the time I'm building or painting miniatures. Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons. I do the scenery and the models. However, tonight with it being getting towards the end of the year, I don't particularly wish to start any new projects tonight. So I ran through what I've done throughout the year earlier on, and now I'm just drawing things because I get sidetracked by chat And I think the person who actually set me off on this is not even in chat anymore, but here I am. I'm drawing things. So, yes, that is my Nurgling. You like to see me paint a Nurgle demons. It would be an interesting thing with the way that I've done that, isn't it? I have 3 different colours just for the flesh, and then purples for the horns and the eyes with his nice twirl. I like his twirling hat. I'm still more than happy with that though. However, I'm more than happy to attempt other things, and not just Warhammer stuff if necessary. I do want to give at least a little more time, try and get to about the hour and a half stage if I can. So I'm willing to take ideas if people have any. If not, I will. Who do I want to draw? What do I want to draw? Because I need to eventually draw all the characters from the magical world of Sparkles and Oak. So who do I want to draw? I've already drawn Sparkles and Oak. They're in the other book. There are loads of characters. Which one do I want to give a crack at? Because painting the model and drawing it as a cartoon, yeah, it's not the same. Shall we go with Jeff? I think we should go with Jeff. Evelyn's question gets answered quite easily here. Normally, Evelyn, I paint models. In this case, this is a Dungeons and Dragons character, which is a barbarian butterfly called Jeff. Now, Jeff will need a character sheet. So it means I do need to actually sketch in his head and do other things. A random line. So you basically look at the camera, do something like that. Sorry, zoom in. Do something like that and see if I can turn it into something that is going to be close to what I'm already doing. I don't know. I don't know is all the answer. I'm doing Jeff the Butterfly. I don't have. But I can't turn it into Jeff the Butterfly. Because that's just a very, very, very weird shape that I've given myself there. A very, very weird shape that I've given myself. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to turn this into anything, to be quite honest. I'm sure I could do something with it though. That's a tube going around onto there. Do you mean do something like that? It did look like a Joker smile a little bit, but I wanted to turn it into spaceship. So I wanted to turn it into the USS 1702D Enterprise. Don't ask me. Don't ask. I wish I could actually do the old thing that I want to. I mean, if I did turn it that way, it did look a little Joker's smiley, but I couldn't. I weren't sure whether how to get some of this in. Whether I turn it that way and turn it into a Enterprise duck ripoff, then yeah, I give myself far too many curves, and that's the problem. Is if you're a flamboyant person to be able to do that, then you don't get many nice, neat lines to work with. So you can't go, oh well, no, that's easy because then you can, yeah, no, I can turn that into a house look. You don't get many. Turning that into something is a little bit more difficult, and especially once I give myself some weird stuff. I mean, a singular line would probably be easier. But if you just do a one line, like there you go, that's going to be easy to turn into something that I'm already doing because it is a singular line. From there, I can actually turn it sideways and continue up to make the HUD line for. And then making it the HUD line for GF. Makes it a little bit easier. And as Jeff is a butterfly, he's not an overly complicated face to draw. Hail Jeff, because Jeff is a barbarian. Jeff understands two things: hitting things and hitting it again if it moves. Jeff is not the brightest butterfly in the bunch, but he carries a big bunk stick. That is Jeff's special ability. He can bunk. Especially when he gets really angry and rages. He goes bunky bonk bonk really well. All hail Jeff. Jeff just happens to be my character out of this as well. So I saw it, I thought barbarian butterfly, and thought, oh yes, that has got to be done. And Jeff was born. He wasn't named, he was born. I think it was he Graham who named Jeff? Or was it you, Silvers? I know somebody named Jeff and it wasn't me. And I don't get many people putting names forward. So it has to be one of the few people that does it. I know it wasn't Northern in this case. He didn't put the name forward for Jeff. Jeff does have silver eyes. Jeff has very sparkly eyes. I know, I've got to try and get the blue right. No, I need to put the yellow on the huge whatchamacallit first. So I need lots of yellows. Up that side, that colour. And at the centre. And then in the light side, I need to put more fluorescent one. Now for blues. Oh, this is why I go to painting, you know. It's not as complicated as colouring. And then was going complicated colouring. Yeah. Yeah, colouring's complicated. It's not as easy to mix the colours. You're pretty much set with whatever colour you have. And unless you have every colour under the sun, which, let's face it, I don't. It's certainly not in felt tip marker form. Although I have got more metallics than I realise. Yeah, I don't have a lot of choice in what colours I have on some of these. A lot of it's going to be not as well coloured as it could have been. Whereas like the art's got the shaded green on him and I've tried to put the shaded yellow in. I can't do that with blue. I haven't got any different blues. Unless I go to paint, and I don't particularly wish to go to paint on this paper. It's far too thick, not good enough quality. So Jeff the Barbarian. Even though he does have pink in his wings. Is it pink? No, it's more of a burgundy? It's definitely silvery orange, metallic orange wings. Standard orange clothes, blue cloak. And weird metallic water thing that the stood on. But Jeff and Ark and a Nurgling. Yeah, okay. And the Dr. Price. I'm gonna have to redo that. I want to do the Dr. Price. I want to make a Dr. Price. It won't look like that though. That's Dr. Price 1702D. I'm gonna do an E, F, and G, and make it an effigy. Come on, some of you have seen my abilities to make models from clay. It is not the best. Sculpting is certainly not my forte. No, I mean painting I can just about get away with, and I've been doing that for 4 years. Steve, how you doing, mate? You just in the middle of prepping your stuff for your Christmas dinner? 18 pigs in blankets, 16 stuffing balls, mash leeks, mushrooms, smoky bacon bit, and potato soup. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. Jeff does not have any butterfly friends, Evelyn. Jeff has many friends, just no other butterflies. In fact, that will be a nice way to sum up the last 10 to 15 minutes of this stream. I'm going to bring the characters all back out from the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak, because they have taken me all year to do the diorama and the characters, and some of them have names, some of them don't, and it's a nice way for some people who maybe the first time being here to be able to go, oh, no, that looks like it should be at, and then we put it forward to Sparkles, who's the boss, and she decides yes or no for names. So we'll go through the named ones first. Actually, we'll go through the not named ones first. Go through the not named ones first. I'm feeling really hungry. I'm still reading that list that Steve's put in the chat, and it's making me hungry. Right, so not named. We've got to go find this book again, and now we have to go looking for the other end and find all the ones that are. Find this piece of paper where all the names are. Oh no, it's at this end. Here we go. complete mess of paper. Okay. So we have Hoover pulled out. I'm just thinking Hoover pulled out is Jeff. Jeff's the only one I've taken out of the diorama so far. So the actual diorama for Jeff and all his friends is yay big. I'm going to have to zoom out so you can see a little bit more there, Evelyn. So Jeff has a few friends, with Jeff being just there. Now, Jeff and all his friends, as I said, some of them have names, some of them do not. For instance, we do have a little Displacer kitty. That is yet to be named. No name for Displacer kitty. At least I don't think so. Nope, no name for the Displacer cat. He also has a nice little mushroom friend, who does have a name, I believe. Yes, this is Marty. Marty the mushroom friend. Working up from here, we do not have a name for the Way of the Shadow Otter Monk, which doesn't want to focus. We do not have a name for this fellow yet. We've not got around to painting the Frog Bard, who she looks absolutely amazing with her little hairpiece and winking at you. Steve, how many people are you making for, mate? So you got veggies tomorrow, carrots, turnips, cauliflower, broccoli, sprouts, turnips. Then Jamaican ginger cake and brandy sauce, and a chocolate coffee cream layered cake with chocolate dipped strawberries. Steve, this is just not funny. That's making my mouth water. That was really nice, especially that coffee cream layered cake, or chocolate coffee cream layered cake with chocolate dipped strawberries. That does sound good. That does sound very good. I'm going to get back to models to take my mind off it. We have Houdini. What is Houdini? Oh, he's the Eldritch Knight Fighter. And he's the owl. We do not have a name for the sheep war cleric. So if anyone's got an idea of what a sheep war cleric could be called, then please say. That's up there done. Okay. We do not yet have a name for the penguin assassin, who's not yet been painted yet. The crow gunslinger is Northan, for Northern, kind of named after himself. An otter shadow monk. Do you think he's Horus? That got a straight no. If we try and be too humorous, Steve, then it doesn't work. Sparkle says no. As well as the two familiars from up there as well, which one looks like if you've seen the film Critters, that's essentially what it looks like. And then this one kind of looks like it should be a weird woolly mammal dragon thing. I'm not sure how to paint this, but it's also yet to be named. Now, we have the Wizard Lizard. A very nice metallic shiny lizard. Still doesn't have a name either, I don't think. Wizard Lizard. Nope, no name. We do have Chester, who we have to repair because one of his little bungy things off the top of his head come off. We've got Chester, who we've still got to repair. Dave and David, which are the two familiars that run as a single character. They're the most complicated thing I've got to run as a character goes. We now have Deck, the spider, which was renamed by Minilas because two things can't have the same name. Now, did we name? Yes, Hamoto Yoshi is the Fox Ranger. It's the only ranger we've got so far. And it's a Beastmaster who has deck with him. We also have Samash, who is the champion paladin. One of the few that actually follows the full D&D 5e startup plan, because he's actually a Dragonborn. So he gets all entailing bonuses as a standard Dragonborn would. We have the Weird Yellow Fox Druid. We've not chosen a Druid style yet. And we haven't chosen a name yet, we just know it's a Druid. Okay, this is the Yellow Fox. And yes, I know I've painted it in the Lucario colours, both shiny and not. That was on purpose. Yeah, sorry, Evelyn, even I know that one's getting shot down. We're not calling it Beyonce. Nope, see, I knew that one would get shot down straight away. We have a yellow frog. Not yellow frog, a yellow turtle. I don't even think he's got not even got a class for this one. This one doesn't even have a class. Doesn't have a name. Poor guy or gal just been left at the back. Everyone's forgotten about him. And then coming down we have Ember, who is the little forgy thing that helps the guy on the forge with his forging and heating up that weird stone stuff. He's just come off his base. So that's 2 that need gluing on now, because Barnaby needs to go back on his base as well. Barnaby is the thief bat, who really does think he can fly, but he can't, and he's ended up breaking his ankles because of it. Stupid little thief bat. We have the Copper Cat Forge Cleric, who is yet to have a name. I'm going to have a lot of naming to do, because once I finish this, I've got to name them all and character sheet them all. So that's, if they've not got names by that point, I'm going to have to name them all. That I don't. Obviously, we have Sparkles and Oak, who are the title characters for the actual project itself. We've already seen Jeff the barbarian butterfly with his giant bonk stick. That is not a magical stick, that is just a stick with a very, very, very big piece of metal on the end. Thank you very much, Evelyn, and you enjoy the rest of your evening and have a good Christmas if I don't see you beforehand. We do have other names though for the otter. We have Sleek Shadow, Brother Silence. You're nodding, I've just named 2. Silas. I said Brother Silence.
Silence.
Yeah.
Silence.
But you like Brother Silas.
I was thinking that I like the
Silence is good, but we're going to go with Silas apparently. Brother Silas or just Silas? He's a monk, but he's a sneaky monk. Just Silas. Close, Steve. Close. Silas instead of Silence. But yep, now the monk is the Mr. Monk here is called Silas. Where am I up to? Oh yeah, we've just done GF. Obviously we have Ali, who is the barbarian bunny rabbit. The 2 barbarians stood next to each other. Nadal, who is the ram paladin. A lot of the ground floor has been named already, and all the water section has been done as well, except for now. Has this red monk been given the name of Herman? Yes, so this is Herman. Herman, the way of the open hand red panda, who sits all the way back in here because he's also the merchant. For purposes of doing stuff within the village, he's the merchant. Sid and Shadow, the 2 shark twins, which are these two. You did help. You did a lot of help. Thank you very much, Steve. We have Sid and Shadow, the two fighting bouncer brothers. Now we're down to the last few. Now we have Gris. Gris is a wizard and a shark. We have Storm, who is a sorcerer of dragon heritage. We also have Cyclone, which is her little familiar companion. Does not like going out of the water, but has to sometimes. And oh, wait a minute, the bee, purple bee, shiny bee, potentially George, but not confirmed yet. And we have the purple and green shiny bee. Now the last one, which is the one of most contention. Oh no, we had a suggestion earlier for the bartender of Carl Hulu. That got put down as a maybe, but we're still looking for a definite yes for the bartender to run. He is a warlock. He is parts of the old one as well. So it is possible he could do that. But that is to come later on in the year. Start of next year, and we'll be finishing it off. Hopefully then. Within January, maybe February. I hope. Shark Wizardman. That sounds like a nice soup. It sounds like a nice soup. We'll have to finish it off next year. Along with starting many other projects. I do have projects which, Steve, you are aware of one of them, which will be the project I will be starting after this. As well as other 40k projects that I will be starting throughout the year. Mainly the World Eaters and catching up on my Orcs and Eldar armies and Imperial Guard army and any scenery that I've got to build. So it sounds like we've got quite an interesting year to start off with next year and a lot to do. But finishing the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak, getting the character sheets up and running so that we can actually play, is going to be one of the first things that I try to get completed next year as an actual project done, ticked off and ready for use by everybody. Steve, I'm going to let you peel your supposed mate because that sounds like you're going to have one hell of a job. Everybody else, thank you very much for coming to join me. If you wish to go back and watch what I did earlier on, please do. It would help me out a lot. If you want to hit that like, subscribe, or any of the links that are in the description, again, that would help me out as well. But please, drive safely, look after yourselves, and have a very Merry Christmas. See you later.